Hi everyone, I'm Craig from ITC Reef Culture and I've come to tell you about PARwise to give you an introduction about what it can do, how to use it, and hopefully give you all the information you need to get started. So first of all, you need to take it out of the box and you're going to find the instruction sheet in there. You're going to have a little USB-C adapter, this little guy, and obviously the sensors themselves. So first off, PARwise will work on practically any Android tablet, and that can even be the least expensive current Amazon Kindle Fire. I think they go for around about £60, $60, something like that. And it will work on practically any modern Android phone, also any PC or Mac, whether it be a MacBook or a desktop of any version of that. However, it won't work on iOS or iPadOS. And the reason being is that Apple have chosen to stop the use of any other independent browsers on their products currently. So even if you download Google Chrome on an iPad or an iPhone, it's actually just Safari reskinned. So that may change in the near future, especially if you're in Europe. That's kind of been in the news recently. So it may work on Apple products in the future when they decide to let Web USB, the connection standard we use, work, but we're not sure on that one. So even if you've got an Android or a PC or a Mac laptop, pretty much everything here is the same. The first thing you'll do once you've plugged it out is plug it into a USB port or a USB-C port with the adapter. You just pop it on and then you plug it into your device. So I'm just going to plug this into my laptop by the telly. On some Android devices, you'll get the little pop-up in the bottom corner saying PARwise detected. You can click on that and it will take you straight through to your web browser. And on the front of web browsers, you have to use Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge as the web browser to use PARwise. Now, I'm talking about a web browser. We don't have an app that you need to download in your app store or onto the computer. Everything is web browser based, but the very first time you use it, it will download into the browser and it will be ready for offline use from that point onwards. You'll get a little notification on PC and Mac. Sometimes you get that notification on Android, depends on the operating version of Android. But otherwise you'll get that little notification. So I'm just going to swap over to the web browser. And if it doesn't automatically pop up, you'll go to PARwise.com. I'll put the link at the bottom in the description here. And you just hit start. And once you've done that, you come up here and you press app and it will load the web app. I've obviously already used this before, but when you plug it in, it will ask you, do you want to use PARwise? You just click on the button to say yes. It will ask again, do it again, and then you're straight into the main software. So this is kind of how it looks. And we have two calibrations built into PARwise. The first one being in air use. So you've got a picture of plants in the background, terrestrial plants, not freshwater aquarium plants. So you've got these. So PARwise can be used to measure your orchids in a greenhouse, whatever you want to grow. So this is the in-air calibration. And if you want to change it to use it in underwater, you need to hit this little button over here, which I'm just going to do now. And then it will turn to a picture of a coral. And now when it's in this mode, it's in the underwater setting. So it has the immersion correction factor applied to our sensor. So I'm just going to leave it in here for the purposes of the demo. And this is the main screen. So you've got all of your regular light readings. We've got PAR, correlated color temperature in Kelvin, the lux, peak, approximate color, just kind of a little fun thing we put in there, and then the DLI. Please go and check out all of our other videos that we've got on those specific topics to learn more about those different things, or go to PAR-wise.com where we have a learn section so you can read about all of these bits if you didn't want to watch my face. So just quickly going to run through all of the different features in the software. We have a home button in the top corner which opens up the main dashboard, which you can use to hide, or you can hide it over here. So you can click on these three buttons if you want to, or you can just go on here to do it. So we'll jump straight into the spectrum analyzer. We've got lots of videos on spectrum, how PARwise works in comparison to other light meters and various other things. Check out those videos. This is just going to be a quick overview. When you're in spectrum mode, you're going to see all of the relevant data. And if you want to save this graph when you're on a PC or a Mac, you can right-click, save as, and it will export this graph as a PNG without a background, so you can then use it in graphing software to then extrapolate the data a bit further if you want to. But otherwise, we've got the general output of this light here. I'm just going to run through a couple of colors, and I've got my lovely assistant Tiff in the background who's just going to change the colors for me. So let's have a look at blue and see how it picks that up. This is on the AI Prime 16, I believe this is. So this is just the blue channels. We've got the UV and violet in there as well. We turn those up. And you'll see PARwise is taking a measurement approximately 3 times a second. So it is pretty quick to respond to the light setting. So you can see the UVs coming in there down towards the bottom there. They're not as powerful as the blues. And I guess, yeah, let's just run through the rest of the colors and see how the graph changes as Tiff changes the sliders in the background. So just throwing a note here, this isn't in an encased area. We have got the room lights on, so we are seeing a little peak of other light in there. That's kind of a, should we put all the channels on? Yeah, let's turn all the channels up. So as the light's changing, PARwise is just changing its what it can see as it's getting much brighter. We're up to about 425 par there in this position. And now we can see that the blue lights absolutely flood everything out, which is why these peaks are now so much smaller across the range. Just in case you didn't know, a white LED is actually a blue LED with a phosphor coating of it to help it produce other wavelengths as well. So that's why when you measure LEDs, even if it's a white one, you always get this really atypical big peak in the blue. So that is the spectrum analyzer. I'm just going to pop over to the color analyzer. And in here we can see a little, you get your spectrum graph, you get the Kelvin color temperature scale. Now if I just move this away to, so the sensor can pick up some more traditional room lighting. We can see, let me just move it away from the aquarium light. We can see now we're able to pick up a regular color temperature from the room lighting that we have, which is just some regular T8 bulbs by the looks of those. You can see that the 1931 CIE Planck curve has now got this little black dot on it. That means that the light source is able to be measured on the Kelvin color temperature scale, which we can see the line here, it's about 4.6 K, 4.5, and the dot appears on the Planck curve, which is this black line. If the dot doesn't appear on the Planck curve, that means there's too much light in there, too much blue light in there, typically is what causes the issue, to be measured. So when you get 16K, 16,000K, 18,000K metal halide bulbs, those Kelvin measurements don't actually exist because the Kelvin scale only goes up to 10 to 12,000. So they're just an approximation of how blue it is. And that dot will be right over here on the CIE Planck curve. But most of us don't need to worry about this stuff for keeping corals, but it's quite cool that we can show all of this info. You've got, again, all the main measurements across the bottom. And again, the sort of approximate color of the light that the sensor's receiving. The next one is the time analyzer, and because the sensor's only been on for about half an hour this morning, we're not going to see this, but DLI is the total amount of light energy over time, which is a really, really important thing. We should all be discussing DLI. Go and check out our other videos about it. It's a much bigger topic than I'm going to cover in here. But that is the third function of PARwise. So in essence, or in short, to summarize, PARwise can measure light, total amount, it can measure the spectrum, and it can measure light over time, which is the holy grail trio of light measurements: PAR, spectrum, and DLI. A couple of other little functions that we've got in the software are, we've got a pause button down here. So if you're taking a measurement and it's quite deep underwater and you've got someone helping you, you can just press the pause button and all of the measurements as it was in that second are then stopped. So you can then take the sensor out, make a note of whatever your measurement was and carry on doing whatever you're doing. We also have a little button here to change it from light mode and back to dark mode. I kind of prefer dark mode. Then we've got a language button here. Most browsers automatically translate anyway, so but if that wasn't the case, you can select some of the major languages over here. So in short, that is PARwise, what it can do and how it does it. I hope this has been useful information for you. Please go and measure everything you can think of. Share your results. We have a PARwise owners group on Facebook. It's called the official PARwise owners group. Please join, come and share your success, share your light settings, share your spectrums, share your DLIs with everybody so everybody can tinker with our lights and get the best out of our corals and whatever it is we want to grow. As I say, we've got lots of other videos. Please go and check them out. Thanks for taking the time to watch this one.